Do I plan on selling the WRX in the future? Hell no, are you serious? No, 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 no. I don't even think you could pry it out of my hands, you know? It's, no, no, no. What oil should I use? What are your wheel specs? What's a good first mod? What do I do if I just am getting into Subarus? I'm gonna answer all these questions in today's video. Hopefully it's gonna help you guys out. So yesterday, I posted a Q&A on my Instagram and I asked you guys to ask me questions about my car in particular and also just kind of Subarus in general because I get countless DMs every single day and it's pretty much impossible for me to reply to all of them. And a lot of them are kind of the same questions, being the most common, like what oil should I use? What should I do for my first mod? What do I do for this? What wheel specs are you running on your car? What's a perfect wheel spec for a narrow body, flared, yada, yada, yada. So there's a bunch of questions that I got in the Q&A. I'm gonna answer the most frequently asked ones, and hopefully this video is gonna help you guys out. Gonna kind of give you a better direction for your build, and maybe you could just learn something you didn't know about Subarus in general. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Stick around, maybe learn something. We'll get straight into it. So one of the most frequently asked questions is, what oil do I use? I personally use in both of my Subarus, this one and the wagon, I use a 540 from Motul. I use the X Clean one. A lot of my Subaru friends use that one. That's just what I use personally. I know a lot of people might use like Rotella T6 and stuff like that. But that's just the oil that I use. It served me well. It's not that expensive. So that's pretty much the one I use. I'm gonna kind of keep scrolling down, answering the ones that seem to be the most common. Another pretty frequently asked question, and this is probably for like the more like mature crowd, is what is my MPG? And I guess I can give you both sides of modified and also the MPG that I get in my 100% stock WRX wagon. Now for this guy here, I would probably guess I'm getting anywhere from about 17 to 21 if I'm super lucky, probably 16 to about 21. That being obviously just because, I mean, it is pretty heavily modified, bigger injectors, pushing a lot of power, and I'm gonna drive the car harder just because for that reason alone. And then MPG on my wagon, even Tommy behind the camera, I think, what did we get, like 24, 25? And that's pretty, I mean, driving pretty modest. It is only a 4-cylinder turbo, so you can get good MPG if you really want to, but there's your answer. Is a 2006 WRX a reliable car? So I kind of find this question pretty interesting, or maybe I interpret it a little bit different. I think a lot of cars can be reliable, obviously, if you take care of them well. A lot of reasons why things go wrong is just poor maintenance, not doing oil changes regularly, diff changes, transmission fluid, stuff like that that should be changed. But for me in particular, I've really had nothing ever go wrong with my car unless it was on the modified side. The only thing that did go wrong was my CV boot exploded. Is that what you're talking about?
Radiator?
What else went wrong? My radiator cracked? But technically I didn't do that.
Who cracked it?
I didn't crack it.
Who cracked it?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Either way, yeah, I think that's kind of just my answer on that one. It's pretty much just like any other car. If you do regular maintenance, I personally change my oil every 3,000 miles. But I don't know, I'm always checking up on my stuff, always making sure my oil level is good. So that's pretty much the answer on that one. So this question here is pretty interesting, and I don't think I've ever been asked this. What mod was most fun doing? Now I would say probably, I'm gonna kind of put together most fun and most rewarding into one. So I would say probably the most fun modifications are stuff that's like instant gratification, like an exhaust. Obviously, if you did a super loud exhaust in your car and all you wanted was your car to be loud, that's probably like the most fun and rewarding. But me personally, I think probably my flares. First, getting into Subarus, all I wanted was a Subaru that was flared, and it probably took me about 3 years to finally say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna buy the flares, and doing it. And it actually wasn't that hard, which I found kind of interesting. I made a full video on installing the flares, so I know there's a few questions on how to install them. Is it hard? It wasn't really that hard. It took me about 2 days and maybe about 5 hours total of doing it. But that was probably the most fun modification doing it, just because I've wanted it for the longest time. Probably.
Go subscribe to Tommy Linebarger.
I fucking hate you. Okay, ready for this? Is it worth getting an STI or a WRX and swapping motors? First off, engines. Sorry, slightly different. Motors electric. Anyway, so is it worth it? Wait, does that mean what he said? No, is it worth getting an STI or a WRX? I made a full in-depth video on a breakdown between my WRX and my friend's 2007 STI, and I said at the end of the video, you should buy an STI. Now, let me kind of, I guess, reiterate that. Let me reiterate. Yes, I have a WRX, and another question was, why did I spend so much money on a WRX when I could have bought an STI? That's like a whole separate question. So let me just answer the first one right now. It really depends, of course, what your end goal is. And I've said that just like in the last video, if your goal for the car is you want to track it, you want to heavily modify it, you want to do this, this, and that, I would say save your money, wait another year, get an STI. I do kind of wish I got an STI, but obviously now at this point my car is faster than a stock STI, and I'm happy with it. But there's always going to be that part of me that I still want an STI. I will probably eventually buy an STI, but I'm never going to sell this. So if you're kind of more in the mechanic mindset, obviously I go to school to be a mechanic, and you think you could do all these things on your car and learn a lot from it, then I would say go for it. It's definitely going to be a lot of work. And if you're not on the mechanic mindset, and you're probably just going to save money just getting an STI. So I don't know, it's kind of hard. You really got to analyze and see kind of what you want and what are your goals. But I would say if you're not super into working on your own car, you want to save a little bit of money, you're probably going to save money just buying an STI. So I'm going to go rapid fire answering questions that are most commonly asked about my car. 3, 2, 1, go. My wheel specs, they are, first off, 18 by 10.5 plus 20 or 22. I honestly forgot the offset. They're AME TM02s. I get this question so much. This is the fitment. It is not perfect. If you want perfect fitment for flares, I know a lot of people that are running 18 by 10.5 plus 10 and also 18 by 11 plus 15. Those are pretty common specs on getting those super meaty fitment for flares. So there you go. Now, moving on to the front half of my car. People ask about my headlights all the time, so this is what they are. I actually made these headlights with my friend. I took them apart. I installed this little strip here. It is literally $20 on Amazon. You have to bake the headlights and take them apart. I put in this strip. I wired them up with my fog lights. That's a super common question. Also, while we're on the front of the car, these canards here were actually given to me by my boy Stormtrooper WRX. I don't even know if you could buy them anymore, but I get this question so much. I'm sorry. If they were for sale, I would do a link for you guys, but hopefully that kind of answers your question. If they ever come for sale, then I will definitely let you guys know. Now, moving on, I guess to my engine, the question that I got is what turbo am I running? I'm running in Equilibrium Tuning 20G. It's a TD06, pretty much stock location. That's pretty much that. Now, moving on to the interior of the car. Bada bing, bada boom. What seats am I running? They are Brom Elite seats in blue. Pretty basic. I think they're probably about $800. I did get a partial sponsorship by them, so that was pretty cool. I think. Oh, also detailed by Panem, or I honestly forgot his Instagram. That's who made the carbon fiber shift boot delete. Bada bing, bada boom. Pretty common question that I get all the time. I think that's pretty much it for the interior of the car, not too special. What flares am I running? They're Carlton flares. If you don't know Carlton, then you don't know Subaru, unfortunately. I'll have them, I'll actually pop their Instagram over here. They're always supporting me, which is pretty sick, and they want to hook it up with a set of flares if I ever get another Subaru, so shout out to you guys. What trunk am I running and wing setup? It is a Voltex wing and also a VIS trunk. It's kind of like the Dulux style. It's slightly different. It goes out a little bit more instead of up. And what exhaust am I running? I just did a video on that. It's NVIDIA Q300. This little shroud, yes, it is meant to protect your bumper. It is from APR. I think that's pretty much it on the outside of the car. Maybe wrap color code or name, Avery Gloss Dark Gray. What other questions do the people ask me? That's pretty much it, right? I covered like all the bangers. If you guys want to know this company, HT Auto, side skirt extensions, they're in the UK.
Brakes.
My brakes, are just STI Brembos. They're the ones from Japan. They might be a slightly different shade. I don't know. They look like more orange than red. And I think that's pretty much it. Front lip, S204 style front lip. Pretty cheap. I think that's it. I think that's probably the most commonly asked questions about my car. Now I'll ask about more personal questions that people ask me on Instagram. Now I'm gonna ask maybe some more personal questions about my car, not necessarily the mods done to it, but I guess just the specs. Someone asked me what are my wheel horsepower numbers and torque. I forgot the torque off the top of my head, but I know wheel horsepower was 388. What does it just say? I don't know what my torque is.
It was like 354. 364 or something like
364 torque and 388 wheel horsepower. I know I say 400 all the time, but it's obviously over 400 crank. But that's what it is to the wheels. And what 0 to 60 time would you say your WRX has?
Low or high threes, probably.
Let's just say 4.
If you launch it.
If I launched it?
High threes.
People are gonna just blow up in the comments like, "Oh, your car is slow. It's only a WRX." Anyway, I don't know. Probably 4 or 5. I don't know. New wheels soon, absolutely. But I have to get new airlift struts because I'm gonna go 5x114. Then I gotta get the new wheels. Then I got the new tires. Then I got the new 5x114 struts. And then the struts are different for the airlift setup. So it's gonna be a lot of money. I will get new wheels eventually. If you could reverse one modification, what would it be? Ooh, that is a super good question. What would it be? I would... Oh my god, I know what it is. Do you know what it is? I'm sitting on it. I don't know. I'm sitting on it right now. I wish I didn't cut this out, because it looks like
That's what I was thinking. I actually like it.
Okay. Honestly, a lot of people like it, but if you looked at my car up close, if you've seen me or my car at a show, I probably mentioned it. It just looks like it's cool from like, I'll call it like a 10-footer, but if you come up close, like it's all messed up right here. I wish I did a little bit better of a job, so I'm gonna probably eventually maybe get like carbon fiber ones, or just buy brand new ones that actually have like the Subaru piece and only cut this out. Yeah, that's probably something that I do regret, because I think it'd look kind of cool if it had the grill now, but I don't know. I do regret that modification. Any plans on going 85 soon? And keep it up, great work, brother, you're killing it. Nick, I remember you. I'm pretty sure we met in LA, and your STI is pretty insane. I just want to say that. So, any plans on going 85? Absolutely. Just like I said, I'm keeping the flex fuel badge just to motivate me to get my flex fuel kit. But before I do that, the reason why I didn't get it tuned on flex fuel right away is my transmission. I still have my 5-speed. I am running blast plates. It might hold up, but it probably will explode. So I'm in the works with trying to get a 6-speed setup. I don't know if I'm gonna maybe do like the JDM spec 6-speed. It doesn't have the DCCD controller, and it is a little bit cheaper to do that, so I think that'd be kind of cool to do that, show you guys a cheaper version of going a 6-speed. But I'm probably gonna do 6-speed before I do my flex. They'll probably all come together. So to answer your question, yes, I am planning on doing it, but anytime soon, I'm not entirely sure. How many miles has the WRX done? Well, I guess there's 2 answers. On the chassis, I think I just hit about 98,000 miles. I bought the car with 72,000 miles. And on the engine, I think I took it out at 92,000. So I think I put about 5,000 miles on the new engine. Yeah, pretty much about 5,000 miles on the new engine stuff. So it's doing pretty good. Do I plan on selling the WRX in the future? Hell no, are you serious? No. I don't even think you could pry it out of my hands, you know? It's, no. No.
What size turbo on your Evo, dog?
It's fucked up. Does it look like an Evo? It's because I have no emblem, bro.
It might be an Evo.
Oh my god. What would people do if I open the hood? It's just Evo, like a 4GCC3. Oh wow. My god, that sucks. I think a lot of people do wonder, how is it possible to be 22 and own a car like this, or I guess modify my car to this level? So someone asked, how do I afford to have a car like this, essentially? Well, number one is obviously I do YouTube, and number two, which is I would say more like my main job, is I'm actually a server in a restaurant, and it's a pretty nice restaurant. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I probably make anywhere from about 150 to probably the most being about 350 a night. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. That's obviously on a super good night, like the 350. But I really do obviously try hard at my work. I try hard at this work as well. So I don't know, pretty much I would just say you definitely have to work your way up. I've been working there for about 5 years, so obviously getting on good shifts and whatnot and picking up as much as I can. When I say I pick up shifts, I'm at the restaurant working. So I do multiple things. I do that. Obviously, I get paid from Google AdSense, being YouTube, and then obviously like some brand deals as well. Like a company will maybe send a product out, and then I'll tell them how much I charge to do a feature or review on their product, either on my Instagram or either YouTube as well. So multiple sources of income. I'm pretty much working 24/7. Most of my work I like doing, so it's not really work, but I try very hard. Gnarly!
What?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh shit. What people don't realize is, I feel like a funnier video, I've thought of this concept, a funnier video would be what happens when the camera turns off. A full video of like clips ending.
I should film and then just never shut the clip off.
Because people don't understand what I actually say when I turn off the camera. You know what I mean? It's just dirty. It's just, never mind. Anyway, so wait, what are we talking about? What's next?
What's next?
What's next? What is next?
What's next?
What's next? Someone asked me what's next. Wait, do you know what's next?
That's a question. What's next?
Oh,
or what's next in the video? I don't know.
I'm confused. Either way, we're gonna talk about what's next for my car. So let's walk around. Let's walk around. Everyone obviously knows I'm gonna do wheels. I'm gonna powder coat my brakes. But one thing that you don't know what's next, which is actually in the works, is I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. I'm doing a custom cage. It's been frequently asked of me to do a cage or a half cage or do a white cage and stuff like that. So I've wanted one for a while, but the boy Mike with the 1JC Subi, he actually contacted me a couple days ago and said, I'm building a cage for my car. Do you think you would want one for your car as well? So we're actually going to do a little bit of a series on building the cage and back up.
You are up in my personal bubble.
Sorry. We're gonna do probably a short series on building the cage. I'm gonna buy the material pretty soon, so that's gonna be what's immediately next. I think it's gonna be pretty badass. We're gonna try to make it better, obviously, than any other cages out there. Gonna be using tube clamps instead of bolts, yada yada yada. So I think that's gonna be pretty cool. So that's gonna be what's next for my car. Okay, so I hope you guys did learn something from this video. I hope I answered some of your guys' questions. I believe I answered probably the most common questions, like wheel specs, what oil do I use, what turbo do I have, what are all the exterior mods on my car. I really hope that you got some value from this video and all my videos in the future. I have a bunch of good content coming up, so I hope you guys stick around and enjoy that as well. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. I wasn't ready for my outro stuff.
It's off.
Bullshit, it's not off. I heard it go on. People can't know I think before I talk, you know what I mean? I got a full process behind this. You know what? You know the most frequently asked question in this video? Why is Alex wearing tights? I swear to God. That is because, you know, we just worked out. This is all bloopers. This is all, I love the bloopers. Everyone likes the bloopers, you know? Don't say it. Don't say it.
Subscribe to Tommy.
I'll say what you got. I will
no,
say,
no. What do you think you're doing?
I still haven't driven it.
You have driven it.
I drove it a block.
You drove it down the street.
And I couldn't even like get into boost.
I thought you were going to get into it. You had the opportunity to get into it.
It wasn't warmed up. I was trying to be nice.
It's very true, very true, very true. It's okay. You have a better one. They still don't know. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.